Okay, here's the video I think you've been waiting for. This is how I do my lashes on Sunday nights when I'm planning to wear my lashes through Friday. I am using mostly Lashify products, except for these tweezers that are from the Kiss Falscara kit. Okay, so here are the products. I'm using Lashify lashes in 12 and 14. And I'm using the ones that I've cleaned before. I am using Bondage. This is like the lash glue. I am using Night Bond, which is a sealer. I'm using Whisper Light, which is another bond. And I am also using Glass, which is another sealer. So there are a lot of products involved with keeping the lashes on for a while, and people use them in different ways. You kind of have to fine tune your process and figure out what works for you. What I'm doing right now is not what I've always done. I kind of, try something out. It works fine. I'll hear someone else trying something different and I'll try that way, see if that works better. This is the way I'm doing it now, but again, I haven't always done it this way and there's lots of different options. But yeah, this seems to be working for now. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm gonna use the Bondage, and this is really similar to the Whisper Light I used in a different video. This is black. It's a little stickier. I don't know how to describe it. I think the formula is thicker than the regular Whisper Light, and this is designed for longevity. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to get it as close to the lash line as possible, and I'm trying not to let it get too thick. The thing with the Bondage versus the Whisper Light is that it can get kind of gunky pretty soon or pretty early. So I'm trying to keep it thin. This is what it looks like after one coat. And just like I did if I'm wearing them in the other video where I was doing just for a day of wear, I do all of the bonds at the same time on both eyes. And because when you are doing glues for lashes, you want them to get tacky before you start applying lashes. And giving them time to kind of dry down a little is helpful. I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget to put this bond in the inner corners and the outer corners, because that's where I tend to get lifting more often. I'm not doing like the neatest job. Thankfully, my camera quality is pretty low, so I'm not even sure you can tell, but yeah. Okay, so that's one coat on each. Again, I'm trying to keep it kind of thin. Now, you don't want it to be like super wet when you do the next coat. And you will be able to tell when this first coat is kind of dry, because when you start putting on the next coat, you should feel it be a little sticky. And that's okay. So the second coat, I don't know if it's necessary. I feel like it just helps me to tell where I had bond already and where I need to kind of touch up. Again, just really trying to get those inner and outer corners. Same with the other side. And I have the same issue with the Bondage that I do with the Whisper Light, where my bottom lashes will stick to my lower lashes. So that can be kind of annoying when you're trying to put like your false lashes on. But yeah. So that should be pretty good. Lashify also makes this little, I don't know what it's called. They call it blow. It's like blows air. And that can be kind of helpful. All right, so bondage done. This is really similar to what I did in a different video. I take the clear Whisper Light and I just dot it at the lash line, or like 1 to 2 millimeters away from the lash line. And I'm trying to get this to be about where the band of the lashes are gonna sit. And it just gives it a little extra security. I do that on the other side. I feel like this eye I tend to have a harder time with because I have to like switch my grip. Okay. So you probably can't see anything, but I'm trying to get that Whisper Light just at the base. And this is also why my brush looks a little gray, because it's mixing with that black. Okay, so at this point, it's bonded. I'm going to take the end of this Lashify tweezers, and I'm just going to get those lower lashes unstuck from the top lashes. It happens when you blink. Okay. So now should be pretty tacky. I'm going to put the lashes on. The other thing about, if you're using Lashify lashes, they came out with a plus line. And so their standard lashes are A, B, and C. And they came out with a new line that is like A+, B+, C+. And I tried the plus lashes and I actually really like them. They're a little bit more delicate, but the lash band is flatter and I feel like it's easier for them to stay on for longer because they, like, the seal of the band is, it's less likely for it to lift. I don't know if that's just me imagining things, but I do feel like the plus line is a little more secure. They are a little bit more expensive. I think I get the membership box and the plus lashes are $2 more per set or per cartridge. And I feel like that's just like a negligible amount for how much I use them and how like committed I am to them working well or lasting a long time. And they seem to be easy to clean, which is good. So that was just a 12. I just stuck it to the end. And I mentioned in the other video, I do try to place them so that I still have natural lash like outside of it. And I feel like that helps to just keep them in place. And then I'll just like use my finger or like the tweezers to just stick the end lashes just like on the side. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, these are 14s. I'm going to put them right next to the 12s. I don't overlap my lashes. I know a lot of people do. They call it stacking. They lay them like bricks. I don't do that. Mostly because it uses more lashes to fill the same amount of space. And I don't need that. I've done it before and it's fine. But I don't find it necessary for me. Okay, so I did 12, 14, 14. Now I'm just doing a 12 on the inside. I also think that I probably stop. I don't fill the inner corner as far as some other people might, but my eyes are, I don't know, my eyes are pretty small, so I don't feel like it looks weird to me to not put like another one right here. And I have fewer lashes in that inner corner right there, so if I tried to put a lash there, it wouldn't stay as long, and it's not as comfortable. So that's just for me. I only use 4, and that's fine. Okay, so now that I've got all the lashes there, I'm ready to fuse them. I use the Lashify tweezers instead of the Falscara tweezers, and they have the Wandom silicone tips on the end, and this kind of helps prevent the sticking that you might get. If you feel like your tweezers are sticking when you try to fuse, you just need to clean off the glue residue that might be on here. Okay, so I am fusing them. Again, the bondage glue is a little stickier than the Whisper Light. Okay, I'm fusing from the root to the tip. The bondage is a little stickier than the Whisper Light, and I think that's on purpose because it helps with longevity. Okay, so when you fuse like this, what you're doing is you're just making sure that the false lashes and your natural lashes are really stuck together. And you want them to kind of like come together as one. That's how you're gonna get the longevity. Okay, so those are pretty stuck together. One eye done. And now I'm ready to do the other eye. I've already bonded everything. There's glue on there, so it's ready to go. 12s. Gonna put those on the end. Ooh, my lower lashes are stuck again. So I just separate them real quick. Putting this 12. Again, I don't know if you can see, there's like a bunch of natural lashes on the very end that I did not stick this to. And then I just like push it in on the side into the side of the lash so that they're touching the false lashes, but the lash band is not like resting on them. Don't know if that makes sense. And then putting in a 14 right next to it. Okay. Another 14. And a 12 on the inside. Okay, now I can fuse. And I don't know if you can see this, but like they are sticking a little bit when I try to pull the tweezers away. And that's normal. You just have to try to, when you pull away, do it a little slowly so that you're not pulling the lash away with it. What I find is that the glue, it's like the glue is a little sticky. And so when you pull away, you might get like little strings of glue going with your tweezers. And so what I try to do, you see that I'm going from the root to the tip. What I'm trying to do is if the glue is going to stretch with the tweezers anyway, I'm trying to stretch it in the direction of the lashes so that when I fuse again, it just pushes the glue onto the lashes, like to the tip. And I feel like that's really helpful because I'm just putting more glue through the length of the lashes, and it helps to make it more secure, I think. At least that's what I'm visualizing in my head when I do this. All right, so in the wearing lashes for one day video, like this was the end, right? But we are trying to get these to last for a few days. So that's when we go into the night bond. I have tried to only use the bondage and not use the night bond. And I can get like maybe 3 days. I think the night bond is very helpful. What I imagine, again, in my head when I'm putting all of these things on is just the more you can make a barrier between like the glue that's on here right now, like the more you can seal in those weak areas or those vulnerable areas, which is mostly the lash band, the more you can, keep repeating that, the more you can protect it from water and oils and stuff that you're going to be exposing it to throughout the week, the better. So I'm using Night Bond. It looks like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint a line near the lash band. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not doing it on the lash band. I'm doing it like right above the lash band. You can do it on the lash band. I've done it before where I've used like a ton of Night Bond, and I have aimed to put the Night Bond on the band and the natural lashes to, again, create like a barrier. Don't necessarily think that that worked. So what I think I'm doing right now is just covering a lot of the glue, the bond that I put on, and I'm like, protecting it again from the stuff that's going to weaken the glue. And then what I like to do is I like to make sure I just dab a little extra on the outer lash and the inner lash, because again, those are the places that tend to have the most lifting for me. And I want to make those strong. And I'm going to let that dry for a little bit while I do the other eye. And the other eye, the same thing. I'm just kind of painting a line. It really does feel like nothing is happening when I do this. Like I can't see anything. I can't really feel anything. But when I look at the tip of the brush, I know that there's stuff there. And when I paint it on, and I look at it after, I can tell that product has come off. The other thing that I do while I'm doing this is I kind of rotate the brush so that I'm just getting more product. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, I'm going to dip it one more time. Go for outer corners and inner corners. And that is done for Night Bond. There's also another technique that some people will do where they'll take their Night Bond and they'll kind of paint the inside of their tweezers with the Wandom on it. And then they'll go in and fuse, and then the Night Bond that is on the tweezers will get on the tops and bottoms of the lashes. I think it works fine. I felt like that just was really messy, and you didn't get as much product that way as you do when you just paint it on. I did not put any on the top this way. Okay, now I'm fusing again, and what I imagine in my head is happening when I do this is it is like kind of just combining and flattening all the layers of everything that I've used. So it kind of becomes like a solid unit of stuff. Okay, diffusing. I know you can't see that because my hand is in the way. Okay, so that's it for Night Bond, and that is pretty much it. The final step is the glass, and I kind of like to give my lashes time to just dry before I put the glass on. I think if your glues are too wet and not dry yet, and then you put the glass on top, I think it does compromise the strength of all the work that you've just done. So I like to wait, and then I put the glass on after. All right, I've been letting these lashes dry for about 5 minutes. So I am ready for glass. A lot of times I'll do this at night when I'm getting ready for bed and stuff. So I will do the lashes, and then I'll go and brush my teeth, do all that other nighttime stuff, and then I'll do the glass. So again, I like this little ball at the tip. I will just put a bunch on the outside lashes, outer lashes. I go in, I really focus on the inner lashes. And I'm really focusing this glass basically where we put all the product, which is like the base of the lashes. I go on top, focusing on the outside, move over to the inside, and I am also kind of rotating this brush so that I can get more product on. Use the spoolie part to kind of break out any of those little clumps. It'll just look like a water drop. If you don't do that, you can like super easily just like pinch it with your finger too. You cannot over apply glass. In my experience, I'm sure if you tried, you could. You can do anything if you try. I've never over applied glass. It dries clear. I've never had like an over application where it like flaked on me. Glass is pretty nice. The other thing you can do if you're worried about longevity is you can reapply this sealer, the glass. You can reapply this throughout the week. If you just feel like you want a little more peace of mind. Okay, so final thoughts. There's a learning curve. What works for me might not work for you. You might need to change the order of things. You might need to change how you apply things to see what works for you. You're not going to be able to have a routine of wearing them for a full week right away. And that's not necessarily something bad about the products. It's just, it takes time to know like what the appropriate amount of the product is to apply. Sometimes using too much is actually bad. Yeah, so figuring out how much to apply and how is kind of the name of the game. The order of products, maybe what the order I did doesn't work for you for some reason. So just trying things out, seeing how it goes. I've been doing this for many years, and I still have some weeks where like, you know, maybe I'm like touching my lashes throughout the week too much, or I apply them too close to the lash line and my eyes can feel the lashes when I blink, and that's making me like fidget with my lashes. I do still have weeks where I'll like pull one off because it's bothering me, and then I just put another one on. So that still does happen. I will say that I think one of the most challenging things that I have with lash application, especially when I'm doing touch-ups, is I don't let the bond dry to get tacky. And then it's really frustrating because I try to put the lash on and it just falls off. So I do experience that when I'm just doing one lash. And the reason why I think that happens is because I'll put the bond in like that one little area, but then I'm not going and like doing the other eye and giving it time to dry before I try to put the lash on. So if that's happening to you, that might be the issue. I think that's why this little blowy thing is helpful. I don't actually use it very much in my eye area because I don't like blowing air into my eyeball. But it's nice if you are using like a setting spray or something. Anyway, what else? If you want your lashes to last a long time, I do not recommend washing your face in the shower. I still do it sometimes, but you want to like apply your facial cleanser around forehead, down through the nose, and then wash your face with cold water in the sink. I just I'll like put my face in the sink, I'll wash this part, and then I will put water on my hand and then just do the forehead so that I'm not dripping water in my eyes, and then, I'll get this middle part between my eyebrows. And then I use like a microfiber cloth and then go in and get that water off. And then sometimes, if you really feel like you can't get all that face wash off, you can wet your face cloth and use that to kind of wipe your face. So yeah, I think if you're washing your face in the shower with hot water, that steam and like you can't help but drip on your eyes, that will help with the longevity of your lashes also. Is there anything else that will help? I don't think so. So anyway, that's how I do it. At the end of the week, I will again use the release to remove my lashes, put them in alcohol, wash them, salvage what I can for using again. Again, washing the lashes is really nice because the ones that you reuse, you can keep those on hand just to fill in any that kind of fell off throughout the week, and then it doesn't feel like you're like just running through lashes super fast while you're learning. So I think that's it. Hope that's helpful. And I will be taking these off on Friday.